Welcome everybody, NFT IQ here. Today I am going to be discussing a new NFT project on Solana called Lifinity Protocol. The Lifinity Protocol NFT, and this is a tech startup on Solana. Very promising, full disclosure, about a couple of these, and I want to get the word out because you still have time to get in early. So let's dive right into the slideshow. First of all, these minted just yesterday on December 26th, and they sold out in about 2 hours. So it wasn't like a huge hype and then an instant sellout. There was a little bit of build up. It took them a couple hours to do it, which is just fine because it was a 10,000 collection. And as we know these days, it can be pretty tough to sell out on 10,000 NFTs, especially in Solana, because there's just such a surplus of projects right now. So seeing this sell out within that 2 hours is super promising. I'm really excited for the team. Now, after the sellout, the floor actually rose as high as 6 Solana, and I believe the mint price was 1.5 Solana or maybe 2. I'm not sure exactly, but it was well below that 6 Solana mark. And currently, while I'm checking out this video, or while I'm making this video, the floor price is sitting around 3 Solana, which is very strong. And it's going to take some time for the paper hands to kind of shuffle out of this, but we'll talk about that more in a few minutes. What I want to discuss right now is this really cool artwork. As you can see, they have really interesting animations. I don't know if you would call them 3D exactly, but they look really cool. And I think that does bring some value to the project, even though this really isn't about the artwork at all. So what is this all about? Well, this is a fintech startup in the Solana space that is using their NFT mint money to set up a liquidity pool. And they have some innovations in the liquidity mathematics an algorithm space that they want to use on their liquidity pool in order to, give value to the holders of their token, the holders of their NFT, as well as the people who are investing into the liquidity pool itself. So that's why I'm super bullish on this one, because liquidity pools are critical to the continued functioning of cryptocurrencies. And if you're not familiar with a liquidity pool, what it is in order for a cryptocurrency to be considered legitimate on the marketplace, you have to be able to exchange that cryptocurrency for another asset that already is a very strong store of value. So you need to be able to swap your Solana for Ethereum, or you need to be able to swap your Solana for US dollars, or if you're launching a new coin, then you need to be able to swap that for US dollars or whatever. And there's never a one-to-one ratio of the US dollars in the liquidity pool, or the Ethereum in the liquidity pool, the Bitcoin or whatever it is, to the actual total value of all of the new cryptocurrency that is circulating in the supply. So essentially, there only has to be a certain percentage of the backing currency in the liquidity pool to basically power the entire market. And so investors will take their US dollars and they'll put it in these liquidity pools, and then they get a small return on investment as time passes for maintaining that really fundamental currency in the liquidity pool. Now, that's like a super basic rundown. Definitely do more research on liquidity pools and some of the challenges associated with them. So let's dive into that. The main thing we're going to be talking about in the context of this project is the problem of impermanent loss. Again, this gets pretty technical, but impermanent loss is what happens over time. Is liquidity pools, they end up exchanging currency with each other, and as the price fluctuates on a cryptocurrency, liquidity pools are always trying to trade with one another to balance out their price in the context of what they have in their liquidity pool. And that process very slowly loses money, and that's called impermanent loss. Definitely do more research on impermanent loss if you're curious, but that's the fundamentals. So minimizing the rate of impermanent loss is extremely important in a liquidity pool. And this team has some unique algorithmic innovations that they're going to use in order to make sure that their impermanent loss is as low as possible for the people who are investing in their liquidity pool. So that's really the unique value that this team is bringing to the space. There's a lot of competition in liquidity pools, but there's always space for more because the Solana market is always growing. So this is a really good opportunity. Now, why else am I bullish on this? Well, the team already has a working product. They've been doing this, not with real money, but they've been running their system in a testing fashion for some time and have promising results. And you can log on to their app and you can try it out and see how it works for yourself already. Plus, here's the big thing is the NFT holders are going to be receiving an airdrop of what they're calling Lifinity tokens. So you'll actually get some ownership in this liquidity pool by holding the NFT. And we'll get into the details on how that works here in a minute. Now, the other thing that's cool about this is there was the mint money, all of it went into the liquidity pool. Not just some of it, but all of it is going back into the project. They have not taken out any money to pay for their startup or to pay their team members or for somebody to get rich, like a lot of these art projects that we've seen over the last couple months, which really minimizes the chance that they're going to, ghost the project, that they're going to rug this one. I basically see that as pretty much impossible at this point. So that's really good. And in addition to that, they have a 5% royalty fee on the NFTs. And they're going to be using 50% of that royalty money to do a floor buyback periodically. So they'll be sweeping the floor of the NFTs periodically. Plus, they're going to be taking the other half of that royalty money and putting it into the liquidity pool to make it bigger and stronger. So that's really nice. And again, the value here of this liquidity pool is that they have these innovations surrounding minimizing impermanent loss, which makes this attractive to investors. So let's get into the airdrop details. Again, if you're holding one or more of these NFTs, you will be receiving a airdrop, and it's going to be relatively small in terms of the total supply of the Lifinity tokens that represent your holding in the liquidity pool. But in the context of the amount of money that is really going to be in circulation in this liquidity pool, it's still quite a bit of money, especially if you consider this to be a long-term investment, which I very much do so. The tokens will be airdropped on a weekly schedule vested out across a year. So essentially you'll get 1/52nd of the total airdrop that you are entitled to per week for the entire year. And that prevents people from, just like dumping all of their tokens on the floor and dropping the price of the LFNTY tokens. And in addition to that 1% of the tokens that they've allocated, you're also going to be getting whatever money they're earning from their royalty fees on that weekly schedule. So if they were sold a lot of NFTs that week, then you're going to see some money coming in from that side as well. The airdrop start date has not been announced yet, and so they are still kind of in a soft launch phase. Obviously, they've been very focused on the minting and working on their application and all that kind of thing. So what is my take on this project? Let's get back to this. Overall, my take on this is very bullish because, number one, this team already has a working application. They already have proof of concept in like a soft launch of their liquidity pool. And also the Solana ecosystem is growing very fast. Solana's in a very good place. And so liquidity pools, while they do have competition, it means they're entering into a well-established space, and they're going to be attractive to investors just because they're new and people want to get in early on projects, whether you're investing in the liquidity pool or the NFT. You know, people who are into Solana and this kind of thing, they like to get in early and buy and hold. And I think that's really cool. And I think that's very promising for this project. You know, because they've taken all of their mint money and put it into the liquidity pool, and they're starting to set aside money for NFT buybacks off the floor. I think that this creates a ecosystem for an upward trajectory on the price of the NFTs. And of course, the big elephant in the room that I haven't mentioned so far, so hopefully you stay to the end of the video, is that we saw another Solana startup, Shadowy Cybercoders, with Genesis Go. When they launched their NFT, I mean, they sold those for, I think, 2 Solana each, and now the floor price is like 85 Solana. So these Solana startups that are in the fintech space, they have a tendency to attract really smart people to buy and hold. And these are people that aren't just trying to flip. These are people who already have money and they're looking at long-term investments. So when you see a company like Genesis Go launch an NFT to fund their startup in the Solana ecosystem, and then their floor price goes from 2 Solana all the way up to 85 plus Solana today over the period of like 2 or 3 months now. Maybe not even that long, maybe more like 8 weeks or something, 2 months. I think that all of the investors, all the people who are holding Shadowy Cybercoders from Genesis Go are going to start to trickle into this community. And all the people who are looking for that 1.5x, 2x, 3x flip are going to be selling over the next week or so. And they're going to be replaced by these long-term investors, myself included. So I feel like I got in really early and I got really lucky just seeing this a couple after the mint sold out. And right now, there's still time for you to get in because the floor currently, at least today is the day after the mint. So as I mentioned, it went all the way up to like the 6 Solana space, which was really cool. But now it's back down to around 3 because I think a lot of people are paper handing, trying to get out, as I mentioned, which is totally fine. The team definitely doesn't want those people to stick around. They want it to sell. Them to sell and have long-term holders, and that's what's really going to drive the price up on this. And I do see that playing out over the next couple weeks. The other thing is there's currently only 5,000 followers on Twitter, and like if I look at Genesis Go, let's look really quick at Genesis Go. They currently have 16,000 followers. So, I mean, they launched with a really similar audience size, and their community has grown to that 16,000 mark, which I know doesn't sound like a lot, but that's the thing is they don't need a ton of followers in order for this to succeed because the people who are coming in are smart and they're invested for holding on a project like this. So, NFT IQ here. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video.